The rain had started long before she entered the room. Not the gentle kind, not the kind that soothes. This one was loud, relentless, the kind that crashed against windows like it had something to prove. Thunder followed too often, too close, like the sky itself was restless, and she hated it. Her fingers tightened around the edge of her dupatta as she stood near the door, unsure whether to step inside or just stay there a little longer. This room, their room now, felt unfamiliar. Too quiet despite the storm, too intimate despite the distance between them. He was already inside. Sitting on the edge of the bed, still in his wedding clothes, sleeves slightly rolled up as if he didn't know what to do with himself either. Because he didn't. This wasn't something either of them had planned for. Not like this. Not so suddenly. Their lives had taken different routes before this. Brief connections, almost loves that never fully became anything. Enough to leave behind hesitation, but not enough to teach them what to do now. Now, when everything felt real. Now, when there was no later. He looked up when he sensed her stillness. For a second, their eyes met, and both looked away almost instantly. Not out of dislike, but because something about that one glance felt too much, too close. Another crack of thunder split the sky. She flinched, not dramatically, not loudly, just a small, sharp movement, barely noticeable to anyone else. But he noticed. He noticed the way her shoulders tensed, the way her grip tightened, the way her breathing changed just a little. Hey, his voice was soft, careful, like he was afraid even his tone might scare her. You can come in. I won't. He stopped, exhaled, and gave a small, awkward smile. I'm as clueless as you are right now. That helped, just a little. She stepped in slowly, closing the door behind her. The room felt smaller instantly, the rain louder, the silence heavier. She didn't sit beside him, not yet. Instead, she chose the chair near the window, keeping a safe distance, as if space could protect her from the unknown. Another thunderclap. This time it was louder, closer. Her breath hitched before she could stop it. And this time, he didn't ignore it. You're scared of thunder, aren't you? He asked gently. She hesitated, then nodded. Since childhood, she admitted quietly. I try to ignore it, but when it's like this. Her voice trailed off. He stood up, not abruptly, not in a way that would startle her, just slowly, carefully. Can I? He asked, stopping a few steps away, not coming closer without permission. She looked at him, really looked this time. There was no force in his eyes, no expectation, no entitlement, just concern. Pure, uncomplicated concern. She nodded again. That was all he needed. He didn't sit too close, just beside her. Enough that she wouldn't feel alone, but not enough to make her uncomfortable. Another flash of lightning lit up the room. Instinctively, her hand moved, almost without her realizing, and lightly grabbed the edge of his sleeve. The moment froze. Both of them looked at that small contact, her fingers on his arm, so simple, so small. Yet it felt like something significant had just happened. She pulled back immediately. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's okay, he said quickly, too quickly, then softer, steadier. It's okay, you can hold on if you want. Silence again, but this time it wasn't awkward, it was fragile, carefully building. She didn't grab his sleeve again. Instead, after a few seconds of hesitation, she gently held his hand. Not tightly, not possessively, just there. As if testing whether this was allowed, as if asking without words. And he didn't move, didn't tighten his grip, didn't pull away. He just let her decide the pace, let her choose the distance, let her feel safe. The storm outside didn't calm down. If anything, it grew louder. But inside the room, something shifted. Her breathing slowed, the tension in her shoulders eased, and somewhere between thunder and silence, between hesitation and comfort, she leaned slightly closer. Not fully, just enough that their arms brushed, he noticed. Of course he did. How could he not? Every small movement felt amplified tonight. Every touch carried meaning. His heart was racing, but not in a way that demanded anything. Just in a way that said, this matters. I didn't think it would be like this, she whispered after a while. Like what? He asked. So calm, she said. I thought I'd be more scared. He smiled faintly. You are scared. She looked at him. He continued, softer now, but not because of me. That truth settled between them. And for the first time, she didn't feel the need to defend herself. Another thunderclap. This time, she didn't flinch as much because her hand was still in his, because he was still there. Present, steady, real. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. Time had stopped making sense. At some point, she shifted slightly closer again. This time, she didn't pull back. And after a pause, long enough to give her space to change her mind, he slowly wrapped his other hand around hers, a little firmer, a little warmer. Her breath caught, not out of fear, but because it was new, because it was their first. Everything, every touch, every closeness, every silent promise. There was no rush, no urgency, just discovery. He glanced at her, hesitated, then said quietly, "If you ever feel uncomfortable, just tell me. I mean it." She looked up at him, and for the first time that night, she smiled. Not a polite smile, not a nervous one, a real one. "I think," she said slowly, "I'm starting to feel okay." He let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. "Good," he murmured, another flash of lightning, but this time she didn't move away. Instead, she leaned her head just slightly against his shoulder. And that changed everything. He froze for a second, not because he didn't want it, but because he didn't want to ruin it. Then, very gently, very carefully, he adjusted just enough so she'd be more comfortable. No sudden movements, no assumptions, just quiet understanding. Outside, the storm continued, but inside, two strangers, bound by circumstances neither fully chose, were slowly, softly becoming something else. Not lovers, not yet, but something deeper, safer, warmer, like the beginning of a place you could finally rest, like the first night of something that might actually last. And for the first time, neither of them felt alone.